वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसूक्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते कृष्णाय। Hare Krishna. Uh, everybody can hear me, no?
Yes, Mataji.
So now we move to Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Dhyana Sopanam verses from 3.28 uh, uh, to 21 from the 21st verse. Okay, so it's very important that we develop this meditation of the way of thinking about the various parts of the Lord. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a nice pastime of Paundraka Vasudeva, wherein that Paundraka was a king of a place called Karusha. And this Paundraka thinks that he himself only is Vasudeva. So he says that I should only hold Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. This real Vasudeva Krishna is just cheating people in the name of calling himself Vasudeva. Actually, he should give up all his Shankha Chakra, Gada and Padma. And he should also give up his name, Vasudeva. He should not call himself as Vasudeva. Only I am Vasudeva. I should only hold all the weapons, Divya weapons and all, everything I should hold. So it was, see, those times so much imitation was there. And he used to make, he added two more hands to him, the wooden hands, were made with the carpenter's help. He made two more wooden hands and attached it on his shoulders. And he was fixing one Shankha, Sudarshana Chakra like that, he was putting like that. And just he was boasting that I am only Vasudeva, I am only Vasudeva, I am a four-handed Chaturpuja. Like that he was doing so much atrocities. And then he sent a messenger also to Krishna, asking him to give up all your weapons and give up the name of Vasudeva. Otherwise, I'm going to completely finish you off. Like that he sends a message also. But at the end, actually, Krishna comes and meets him in a battle. And at that time, Krishna completely, which is Sudarshana Chakra, he just cuts him off and kills him. But the Bhagavatam says, what is the gati he attained? Because all the time he was, imitating, putting his dress like Vasudeva, putting his Shankha Chakra like this, imitating all the time he was imitating Vasudeva Krishna. Bhagavatam says in 10th canto, 66th chapter, 24th verse, he says, Sanityam Bhagavad Dhyana Pradvasta Bandhanah बिभ्राश्च हरे राजन Swarupam Tanmayam Abhavat. He got a Swarupam. Swarupam means form. Tanmayam means same like Krishna, same like Vishnu, the same four-handed forms. Krishna was so merciful to give him the same Swarupa. Swarupa Mukti we call it, same Rupa he got, and he was liberated to the Vaikuntha Loka. Because his Bhagavatam says, by constantly meditating upon the Supreme Lord. So because he was constantly meditating on this particular form of the Lord, thinking that I should only hold Shankha Chakra like that, La Paundraka shattered all his material bonds. Pradvamsa, it says, no? Pradvasta Akila Bandhanehi. All his karmic bondage was simply annihilated just because of his continuous meditation on this particular form of the Lord and imitating this form. And then it says, indeed, by imitating Lord Krishna's appearance, O king, he ultimately became Krishna conscious. Actually, this had a very purifying effect in him, even though he was doing it out of envy and pride of Krishna, envy and thinking, proudly thinking that I am only Vasudeva, but still the very thinking, the very imitation, and the very trying to dress up, just like Putana, she dressed up like a beautiful mother and was giving the poisoned milk to Krishna. And because she dressed herself nicely and practiced being like a mother, and she gave her breast to him, Krishna gave Putana the position of his mother in the spiritual world. The same way, this Paundraka, even though he was envious in doing all these things, just because of his good fortune of doing like this, and because in the battle, Krishna, when he had only received a message, Krishna personally saw him only in the battlefield. When he saw Paundraka with all his attached wooden hands, Krishna couldn't contain himself. Acharya is right. Krishna was laughing profusely, seeing how this fellow is trying to imitate me. So in that way, he gave a moment of pleasure to Krishna. He made Krishna laugh. So which means he is giving pleasure to Krishna, which was satisfying to the heart of Krishna. And Krishna became pleased with that one simple incident. and he was attained that. That is why it is very important. It says, Sir, Nityam Bhagavad Dhyana. So every day he was in Bhagavad Dhyana. So this is the way Bhagavad Dhyana is, but we have to do very favorably, even though he was doing unfavorably. Even doing unfavorably, if we can get such a position, what to think of the mercy of the Lord, who will give us if we think favorably of the Lord. I remember our Swarnagi Mataji's son, Madhav, in his young days, every day he will like to wear, that yellow Krishna dhoti, yellow, and Mataji has to give him a flute. Mataji has to put the peacock plume on his head. I remember as a small child, he was doing all this. Then he will put up all the dress and he'll be very happy putting all the dress. See how auspicious these things are, The children get exposed to these auspicious snaps. Maharaj calls them as auspicious snaps we get. So in this way, this our Poundraka Vasudeva, because of getting the auspicious snap of dressing himself just like Vasudeva, he got a the perfection of his existence. In the same way, it is so important for us. That is why these verses are very important for us, to learn, to get it by heart, and to repeat them again and again. So this gives a Bhagavad Dhyana for us and makes everything auspicious for us. So now we will just revise the first 3-4 verses. So Srikala Mataji will kindly repeat after me. It's now 3:28:21. Sanchintayed Bhagavatascharanarvindam.
Sanchintayed Bhagavatascharanarvindam.
Vajrankushadvajasaroruhalanchanadhyam.
Vajrankushadvajasaroruhalanchanadhyam.
Uttungaraktavilasannakachakravala.
Uttungaraktavilasannakachakravāla.
Jyotsnabhirahatamahadridayandhakaram.
Jyotsnabhirahatamahadridayandhakaram.
Read translation of this.
The devotee should first concentrate his mind on the Lord's lotus feet, which are adorned with the marks of a thunderbolt, a good, a banner, and a lotus. The splendor of their beautiful ruby nails resembles the orb of the moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart.
Go to the next verse. 3:28:22. Yachaucha nisrita sarit pravarodakena.
Yachaucha nishrita sarit pravarodakena.
Tirthena murdhni adhikritena shiva shivo bhut.
Tirtena murtni adhikritena shiva shivo bhut.
Dhaturmanah shamala shaila nisrishta vajram.
Dhyaturmanak shamala shaila nisrishta vajram.
Dhyaye chiram bhagavatas charanarvindam.
Dhyaye chiram bhagavatas charanaravindam.
Read translation.
The blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy waters of Ganges, which has its source in the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord's feet act like thunderbolts hurled to shatter the mountain of sin stored in the mind of the meditating devotee. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time.
Move to the next verse. 3:28:23. Is about the knees of the Lord. Janudvayam jalajalochanaya jananya.
Janudvayam jalajalochanaya jananya.
Lakshmyakilasya suravanditaya vidhatuhu.
Lakshmyakilasya suravanditaya vidhatuhu.
Urvornidhaya karapallavarochishayat.
Urvornidhaya karapallavarochishayat.
Samlalitam hridi vibhorabhavasya kuryat.
Samlalitam hriti vibhor abhavasya kuryat.
Translation.
The yogi should fix in his heart the activities of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, who is worshipped by all demigods and is the mother of the Supreme Person, Brahma. She can always be found massaging the legs and thighs of the Transcendental Lord very carefully, serving him in this way.
3:28:24. Uru suparna bhujayoradhishobhamana.
Uru suparna bhujayor adhishobhamana.
ओजो निधि अतसिका कुसुमावभासौ
ओजो निधि अतसिका कुसुमावभासौ
व्यालं विपीत वरवाससि वर्तमान
व्यालं विपीत वरवाससि वर्तमान
काञ्चीकलापपरिरम्भितम्बबिम्बम्
काञ्चीकलापपरिरम्बिनितम्बबिम्बम्.
Translation.
Next, the yogi should fix his mind in meditation on the personality of Godhead's thighs, the storehouse of all energy. The Lord's thighs are whitish blue, like the luster of the linseed flower, and appear most graceful when the Lord is carried on the shoulders of Garuda. Also, the yogi should contemplate his rounded hips, which are encircled by a girdle that rests on the exquisite yellow silk cloth that extends down to his ankles.
So we have seen up to the waist of the Lord. Now we go to the next verse today, 3:28-25. It is from the Nabhi of the Lord up to the chest of the Lord. Nabhihradam
Nabhihradam
Bhuvanakosha
Bhuvanakosha
Guhodarastham
Guhodarastam
Yatratmayoni
Yatratmayoni
Jishanakhila
Dishanakila
Lokapadmam
Lokapadmam
Vyudham Harin
Vyudam Harim
Manivrisha
Manivrisha
Stanayor Amushya
Stanayoramushya
Dhyayedvayam
Dhyaye Dvayam
Vishadahara
Vishadahara
Ayukha Gauram
Mayukha Gauram
Nabihradam Bhuvanakosha Guhodarastham
Nabihradam Bhuvanakosha Guhodarastam
Yatratmayoni Dhishanakhila Lokapadmam
Yatratmayoni Dishana Kilalokapadmam
Vyudham Harin Manivrishastanayoramushya
Vyudam Harin Manivrishastanayoramushya
Dhyayedvayam Vishadahara Mayukha Gauram.
Dhyaye Dvayam Vishadahara Mayuka Gauram.
What are the read the synonyms?
Nabhihradam, the navel lake. Bhuvana Kosha, of all the worlds. Guha, the foundation. Udara, on the abdomen. Stam, situated. Yatra, where. Atmayoni, of Brahma. Dishana, Dishana, residence. Akila Loka, containing all planetary systems. Padmam, lotus. Vyudam, sprang up. Haritmani, like emeralds. Vrisha, most exquisite. Stanayoho, of nipples. Amushya, of the Lord. Dhyayet, he should meditate on. Dvayam, the pair. Vishada, white. Hara, of pearl necklaces. Mayukha, from the light. Gauram, whitish.
Translation.
The yogi should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. From his navel, which is the foundation of the entire universe, sprang the lotus stem containing all the different planetary systems. The lotus is the residence of Brahma, the first created being. In the same way, the yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, which resemble a pair of most exquisite emeralds and which appear whitish because of the rays of the milk white pearl necklaces adorning his chest.
So this is a very beautiful description. Now we have to meditate from the Nabi of the Lord up to the chest of the Lord, wherein it says Krishna is wearing a milk, a beautiful necklace, pearl necklace. You can see, no, this picture of the Lord, Nabi. So from his Nabi, we can see Brahmaji appearing from the Nabi. There is a lotus stem which is coming, and there is a lotus flower on which Lord Brahma, the first living entity, was being created, is situated. So Nabi Hradam. Here the Nabi is compared to a Hradam. Hradam means lake. So it says Nabi Hradam. So Krishna's Nabi is like a lake, beautiful lake, wherein the lotus, because the lotus is coming, no? That is why it is compared to a lake. Lotus always comes from waters, so it is compared to a lake. Nabi Hradam, Bhuvana Gosha, Guhodarastam. So this Nabi is the foundation for all the planetary systems, because Bhagavatam says that all the 14 planetary systems in each universe are situated within the lotus stem. Just you can see the lotus stem, no, which is coming from the Nabi. In the stem is located all the 14 planetary systems, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, everything, the Janaloka, Sura, Maharloka, Satyaloka, everything is situated within the lotus stem. So that is why it is said that is the foundation for the entire, Prabhupada writes, it's the foundation of the entire universe. So which means the Nabi, as we meditate on it, we can feel that it is a foundation for everything. As Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaham. And then, Bhuvana Kosha Guhodarastam. And this Nabi, and if you see the lotus stem, no, we can always remember how a child is born, correct? The child is attached to the mother with the help of an umbilical cord. We can always see when the child is born, they cut the umbilical cord of the child, because that is the main attachment between the mother and the child, through which the child takes all the inputs of energy, everything from the mother, all goes through the umbilical cord. So just like a child is attached to the mother through the umbilical cord, this lotus stem, it looks just like an umbilical cord through which Brahmaji, the first living being who is born from the abdomen of Lord Narayana, is situated. So, Nabi Hradam, Bhuvana Kosha, Guhodarastam, Yatra Atma Yoni. So, what is another name of Brahma? Brahma is here referred to as Atma Yoni. So, the other names also are Swayambhu. Brahma is also called Swayambhu. He is also called Atma Bhu, because he is just like, there is no mother involved in this generation of Brahmaji. Just like a material birth, wherein a father impregnates the mother and the child grows in the womb of the mother and the mother gives birth to the child. But Brahma's birth is not like that. So it is completely transcendental, wherein Lakshmi Ji is wife of Narayana. We can see her massaging the lotus feet, but she is not involved in the birth of Lord Brahma. So Brahma has come out just from Lord Narayana himself. So that is why, because he has come out just from the abdomen of Narayana, he is also referred to as Atmabhu, one who was not taken birth from any other yoni. So that is why he is called Atmabhu, Atma Yoni, or Swayambhu he is called. Dishana, Akila Loka, Padma. So Akila, all the lokas are situated within the stem. So that is why this is the way we have to meditate on the Nabi of the Lord. And if you see that Kunti Maharani very beautifully prays in the first canto, 8th chapter, I think 22nd verse, Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. That is the way she prays. So she says Namaha Pankajanabhaya. So this Nabhi, she's referring to the Nabhi and how it looks like a Pankaja. Pankaja means, Panka means muddy water. Ja means that which has come out of it. That is the lotus. The lotus has come out of the muddy water. So it looks like his Nabi looks itself like a lotus, she says. Namaha Pankaja Nabhi. So it's Pankaja Nabhaya. And he is also called Padmanabha. His Nabi is, that is why in Trivandrum, we have the beautiful deity of Lord Padmanabha. So, Namah Pankaja Nabhaya, Namah Pankaja Maline. He is wearing a garland which is full of lotuses. Namah Pankaja Netraya. His eyes are also beautiful like lotus. Pankaja Angre. His lotus feet is also compared to lotus. This verse is very important. In Srimad Bhagavatam, only a very few verses come twice. They are repeated because all the verses come only one time in Bhagavatam. But there are a few verses, maybe 5 or 6 verses, I don't know. But there are very few verses which are repeated in one more time. So that is why it shows the importance of the verse. So this same verse, Namah Pankaja Nabhaya, we can see Bhumi Devi praying in 10th canto, 59th chapter, 26th verse. 10:59, 26. After the Narakasura was killed by Krishna, he goes with Satyabhama to get rid of Narakasura, who has imprisoned all the 16,100 princes, So actually Narakasura is Bhumi Mata's son only. So that is why he's called Bhaumasura also. Bhumi's child, he's also called Bhaumasura. Because of bad association, he became an Asura. Even though he is born to Bhumi Devi, he became an Asura. He's also called Narakasura or Bhaumasura. So after Narakasura was annihilated by Lord Krishna, Bhumi Devi prays to Krishna. And this is the verse she's praised. Namah Pankaja Nabhaya, Namah Pankaja Maline, Namah Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. So this is the way we remember the Nabi of the Lord. Also, when we see the abdomen of the Lord, we can always remember the pastime of Krishna being bound by Mother Yashoda, Damodar pastime, because his waist was tied by Lord Yashoda, how Krishna exhibits his quality of Bhritya Vashyata, how he comes under the control of the devotees, the complete control of the devotees. He's seeing with, even though fear personified is afraid of Krishna, we can see Krishna, he's just rubbing his eyes and he's crying and completely afraid of Mother Yashoda. That pastime also we can remember just by seeing the abdomen of the Lord, wherein he has been tied by the waist, tied in the waist. And also, Maharaj always says that the Navi Pradesh should always be in it. It is why Prabhupada writes in many places the depression. But whereas in many cases, it's like Govardhan Maharaj says, you should not eat, you should have regulated eating. Mita Book Maharaj says, otherwise, the Navi, instead of being a depression, it will become a Govardhan mountain. So this is the way we remember. And also we know that the abdomen is a place wherein all the living entities, at the end of the annihilation, it is a shelter for all the living entities. They go back into the abdomen of the Lord to be recreated again in the next creation. So that is why the abdomen of the Lord, all the living entities have to take shelter ultimately at the end in the abdomen of the Lord. That is why Brahmaji prays a beautiful verse in the 14th chapter, wherein while asking forgiveness from the Lord, he prays this verse saying that because we were all situated in the abdomen of the Lord, which means we are all children of the Lord. Because the children, and then when a mother is pregnant and the child is inside the abdomen of the mother, the child will keep kicking, once it becomes 7 or 8 months, the mother can feel the legs kicking, the movement of the child, So when the baby is kicking, does the mother get offended? The mother, on the other hand, the mother feels very happy that my child is moving here and there, no? In the same way, because you are the mother in whose abdomen we are all situated, Krishna, you should please forgive. Just like a mother is forgiving all the kicks of her child, please, you also, because we are all small children, even though we may kick sometimes in the form of offenses, you please forgive us. This is the way he prays in that verse. 10th canto, 14th chapter, 12th verse. क्षेपणं गर्भगतस्य पादयोः किं कल्पते मातुरधोक्षजागसे किमास्ति नास्ति व्यपदेशभूषितं तवास्ति कुक्षेः कियदप्यनन्तः. So Tabakshikshe, we are situated inside the womb. We are like small children. Even though we kick you in the form of doing certain offenses, just like a mother forgives a child and becomes very compassionate and loving to the child, Krishna, you also please forgive my offenses. It's a very beautiful verse Maharaj asked us to recite. Every day we can chant this verse, seeking forgiveness from the Lord for all our offenses. And Krishna is a very compassionate, just like a mother. Definitely he will forgive our offenses. And then it goes on to describe Vyudam Harinmani Vrishastanayor Amushya. Then it goes on, move to the chest portion of the Lord, where the nipples of the Lord are there. And then it is beautifully shining like emerald stones. He describes. This should be meditated upon. Dvayam Vishada Hara Mayuka Gauram. And how it is shining beautifully, it resembles a pair of most exquisite emeralds, and which appear whitish because of the rays of the milk white pearl necklaces adorning the chest of the Lord. So he is wearing beautiful white shining pearl necklaces, and because of the light which is emanating from the necklace which Krishna is wearing, and then whole chest has becoming effulgent, he says. So in this regard, we can remember Hara. Hara means, you can see the word the Hara Mayuka Gauram. Hara means necklace. So that is why we also say we buy haram. Haram, when we go to the jewelry shop, we buy the golden haram, we call it. No? Hara means necklace. So in this, regarding this Hara, there is a very beautiful verse in the Yugala Gita spoken by the gopis in Bhagavatam 10th canto, 35th chapter, 4th verse. It goes like this. Hanta Chitramabalashrunudedam Harahasavurasistira Vidyut Nandasunurayamartajananam Narmado Yarhi Kujita Venuhu. This is the way the Yugala Gita, the gopis sing about the Lord. When the Lord has gone to the forest for herding the cows, this is the way they remember. No? And then here they sing, Hara Hasa Urasi, how Krishna is decorated and how Krishna looks very effulgent. They say, Hara Hasa, how Krishna is smiling, it is compared to a necklace. Hara means necklace. Hasa means smile. So they call it as Hara Hasa. And Sridhara Swami, who is a commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, gives beautiful 4 explanations comparing the smile and the necklace of the Lord. So he says, first he says, he's Harahasa means he whose smile is brilliantly clear like a jeweled necklace. So Krishna's smile is brilliant, just like a necklace is brilliant. No, this moti necklace which Krishna is wearing is brilliant. In the same way, Krishna's hasa, his smiling is also brilliant. Then second, he says, he whose smile is reflected from his jeweled necklace. Just like you are supposing if you are wearing a necklace with so many pearls, and each pearl is shining, just like so it will reflect. No, when it is object is shining, it will reflect. So supposing we are wearing a moti necklace with around 20 pearls, and what will happen? And Krishna, what he is doing, he is smiling. And how he is smiling? He is holding the flute in his head. And then Krishna, as we know, is a Tribangi. So he is bending down, he is holding the flute, and he is smiling. So because he is bending down and smiling, his face will be reflected in all the 25 motis which he is wearing in his chest. So that is why he says, whose smile is reflected from his. So that then how it will look? It will look as if there are 25 smiling Krishnas who are there. Those 25 smiling, beautiful smiling faces we can see just by seeing the necklace. So this is Harahasa. And then he says, he who smiled like a jeweled necklace cast its effulgence on the chest. And he says Krishna's smile is so brilliant that just by his smile, the whole portion of the chest becomes effulgent. Not because of the effulgence coming from the necklace, it is the effulgence coming from the smile of the Lord. That's why Maharaj always said, smile is the only ornament, no, which will give the effulgence to our whole existence, so our body and face, everything. That's why Maharaj said, always have a watermelon face. Maharaj always, whenever he was sitting in the class, whenever he sees children sitting in the front row, if they don't smile, Maharaj will make it a point. You should smile, 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 Maharaj will say. So because that is what adds effulgence to us, not the ornaments which we are wearing, they will not add anything, any value to us. And then the fourth meaning is he whose necklaces shine brilliantly, just like Krishna's smile. So that is also, he says, Krishna's ornaments are also brilliantly shining, just like Krishna's smile. This is the way 4 explanation just for one word the Acharyas give for the word Harahasa. And even as a baby Krishna, we know the mother Yashoda used to put a lot of necklaces and all the dressings for child Krishna, even when he was 1 or 2 years old. And with all these necklaces, he will go to the other houses for stealing. The Krishna is the first most opulent person going and stealing something, Otherwise, only poor people go and steal. So with all his necklaces, he will go. And all the gopis, what they will do, in order for Krishna should not know where the butter is there, he should make some efforts. Like that, they will put all the butter in a dark room, or they will hang it from the top, or will put in a dark room where there will be no light at all. But what will happen? Because Krishna is wearing all these necklaces, so much of effulgence will come out of these jewels, and then with that light coming, just like a torch light, we have torch lights in the mobile also. So whenever it is dark, we just open the mobile. Just like that, Krishna's jewels were giving so much of light. So just by entering into the room, the whole room will become bright with the light emanating from the necklace which Krishna is wearing. And then Krishna will continue his stealing pastimes. So that is why Acharyas in the 3rd canto also, Uddhava says, Bhushana Bhushanangam. It is not that Krishna's is becoming beautiful because of wearing the ornament. The ornament is becoming beautiful because Krishna is wearing those ornaments. That is why he says, Parampadam Bhushana Bhushanangam. So this is the way we remember, right from the waist of the Lord up to the chest of the Lord. And next class we will see right from his neck, chest to the neck portion, and everything will be described. And Krishna's smile will also come with the future meditations. So this week, just now we are realizing this meaning, trying to understand this meaning. We will chant one more time. Mataji will repeat after me. Nabhihradam bhuvana kosha guhodadastham.
Nabhihradam bhuvana kosha guhodarastam.
Yatratmayo nidhishanakhila loka padmam.
Yatratmayo nidhishana kila loka padmam.
Vyudham harim manivrishastanayor amushya.
Vyudam harin manivrishastanayoramushya.
Dhyaye dvayam vishadahara mayukha gauram.
Dhyaye dvayam vishadahara mayuka gauram.
So whenever we take the necklace and wear next time, our haram, let us remember this beautiful smile of the Lord, Hara Hasa. Okay. So next we move on to our